What's up, YouTube? Riptide Reptiles. Gonna be making another Leopard Gecko care video for the Leopard Gecko care video series today. Today we're gonna be talking about feeding and supplementation, probably one of the most important things for reptiles as they require it to live. So yeah, but before we get started, I want to make a shout out to Oz Herps. He's a buddy of mine on YouTube. He is at 496 subscribers, I think. So I'm going to try to help him hit 500 subscribers, and when he does, he's going to have a contest. But yeah, so he needs 4 more subscribers. So tell everyone you know, guys, go on there, like him, comment, like his post, subscribe, most importantly, subscribe to him, and let's help him. Hopefully by tomorrow we can get him at 500 subscribers, and he'll put out a contest for us. But yeah, so make sure to go over there and subscribe to him. He's got a lot of cool videos, especially his thick-tailed geckos. He had a good care video about those. Helped me out. I'm thinking about getting one of those too. Got a huge list of reptiles I'm planning on getting, guys. But yeah, so make sure you go over there and subscribe to him. Help him out. So yeah, now on to the care part of the video. I'm going to talk about feeding first, because that's a little quicker. Okay, staple diets for leopard geckos, we'll start there, are either mealworms or crickets, which I don't have on me, or dubia roaches. Those are all three, dubias being the best. Dubias are like the best, like all around. Those are, if you've got the money and the housing and you can house them, especially if you can have a breeder colony of them, that's the best. But those are the best. But and the next would be crickets and mealworms are about even. I think mealworms are a little bit more nutritious, if I'm correct, than crickets. But they all three make good staple diets. Or you can have you can choose either one, or you can mix any of the two or the three. So those are the best things you want. And yeah, like if you got a regular sized leopard gecko, you can give them, normal sized mealworms. I find that if you do like what I do and you go like Petco, if you've got more than one leopard gecko, buying in the big 500 container is a lot cheaper than buying them individually at 100. And then for when you've got baby leopard geckos, after they've hit about 25 grams, they seem to be big enough to take normal mealworms. That's what I'm giving Blizzard now. He hit 25 grams, and I've started feeding him, and he seems fine. But before that, I would recommend like mini or baby mealworms. They're a little bit smaller and a little bit easier to get down, so yeah, you can get those. But and then dubia roaches, same thing there, like crickets. You want it to be no bigger than the space between their eyes, I think it is. I'm not sure how dubias work because I've never fed them. But yeah, anytime you feed any reptile anything, unless it's like a worm kind of thing, like mealworms, of course, you want it to be no bigger than the space between its eyes. So just so it can fit in its mouth, and it's pretty easy to judge, like if they can get it down or not. So just keep that in mind. And those all three of those make good staple feeders. Dubias, mealworms, and crickets. Any of the three. Some good treat foods that do not make good staple feeders are waxworms. Let's see. Waxworms, superworms. I'm pretty sure I think hornworms. They're a little too expensive. I don't know if you can use them as a staple, but they're kind of expensive. Those all don't make good staple. Those aren't good staple feeders because they have a lot of fat in them, especially like waxworms. And fat is not good on reptiles because it makes it hard for them to thermoregulate. Just like if you notice a fat person is always getting hotter than the rest of us, that's because that fat holds in warmth. That's why like things that live in the Arctic have lots of fat on. But yeah, so it makes it hard for them to thermoregulate. So waxworms are good. Like if you want to feed them maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, just how often. I usually, like every couple of months, I'll get the thing and I'll just put them in there every couple of feedings, like once or twice a week for a month, or until the can runs out. But I don't do that like every month. They get that's like a once every 4 or 5 months. So, and the same with superworms. Superworms are they're not as fatty as waxworms. Those are something that you could put in there maybe once a week, as just a little bit extra bulky thing, like at the end of the week, like a little bit of big meal, like a really big meal. So yeah, superworms are okay once or twice a week. And for those of you who don't know, it's just like big mealworms. It's just giant sized mealworms that are a lot more active. And so yeah, reptiles usually go nuts for them. And things like hornworms are these big, colorful, chewy looking worms. They're pretty expensive, but they're just full of liquid. But reptiles love them too. But yeah, so you want to make sure you limit those to just like treat kind of things. Those don't make good staples. Waxworms, superworms, hornworms, stuff like that. So that's pretty much feeding. So now supplementation. What you want to remember about supplementation is I'm going to tell you how I do it. I think I've stated before my opinion on supplementation, so I don't know if I'm going to, depends on how much time I have in the video to see if I'm going to give you my whole spiel, but I'm going to show you how I do it. You get RepCal is what I recommend, phosphorus-free calcium with vitamin D3. This is the way I do it, and this is the easiest way to do it. And what you're going to do is every feeding, well, for one, you're always going to keep like a little milk jug cap full of calcium in their tanks. All the time. And then just about every month or so, or as it gets low, fill it up or change it out every couple of months. So that's what you automatically want to do. That stays in there 24/7. And then what you want to do is 5 days a week, you want to, when you feed them, whatever you're feeding them, crickets, mealworms, anything, you want to dust them with more of it. Calcium with vitamin D3, same stuff in the cap. So you want to RepCal, HerpCal, any of those will work as long as it's calcium with D3 and you want it to be phosphorus-free. So yeah, you're just going to put whatever you got in there in a little bag or a little cup, shake it up with the calcium, dust it up, put it in their food bowl. You're going to do that 5 days a week. Now, depending on if you have an adult or a subadult, here's how you do that. Okay, for juveniles, up to the time they're adults. The other two, what I usually do is weekdays, dust with this. Weekends, for juveniles up to adults, you would dust with Reptivite on the weekend. For 2 days, so 5 days this, 2 days Reptivite. And they've got RepCal, vitamin, it's in a blue container, or these, I'm just using up these sample packs because I got like 1 billion of them, so I figured I'd use them up before I go spend $15 on calcium. So yeah, you dust with that 2 days a week, and that gets them all their essential vitamins that they need to grow, and that's how you get your geckos big. That's how you get them nice and bulking and large. So that's what you want to do for that, and this keeps them from getting MD, because if they don't have enough calcium, they get metabolic bone disease and lots of other sicknesses probably, and what it does is their bones just become soft, and they'll curl up like, it's the freakiest looking thing. Google it. Google leopard geckos with metabolic bone disease. It's disgusting. So yeah, you want to avoid that, so make sure they get plenty of calcium. And then for with the vitamins, so the Reptivite, for adults up, you want it, once the gecko hits an adult, you want to just lay off and then just do this 1 day a week. So five days a week with this, 1 day a week. So Monday through Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, don't dust them with anything. That's how I do that for Caesar, and that works really well too. So that's what you want to do with that. And that'll keep them getting everything they need, nice and healthy. And yeah. And another thing you can do with supplementation actually is, I've seen a lot of people, a lot of beginners buy this, because at first if it's your first reptile and you have no experience, it's kind of confusing with the calcium and the vitamins and everything. So a lot of people will get Leopard Gecko Repashy Superfoods Calcium Plus, and it's got calcium mineral supplement, and it's got your vitamins in it, and that actually is a pretty decent product. I've used it. I know a lot of people that use it. I I used it in the past, and then I found out that this was a little better if you're looking to breed, because with this dusting, it will give them what they, most of the time it gives them what they need, but it just does that. It gives them what they need to live, but it doesn't give them how much they want. Like, they know how much they need, so you should let them choose, but this you only dust. You never do anything more, just dust. It's not good to leave a cap full in the tank. So a lot of people, they won't, they just dust them, and that kind of limits your choosing for the gecko how much you think it needs instead of letting it choose, because it knows. It won't just take extra. It'll take what it needs. So that's good if you're just learning how to do the reptiles. It'll give them what they need. But like I said, if you're looking to breed your leopard geckos, you want to let them choose how much calcium, because like the female, she needs to get as much as she can for making eggs, and she knows how much she needs. So it's better to do this. But if it's your first time, first reptile, you have no clue what you're doing, this is a good option. It's a lot less confusing. It'll save you some time, and then that'll give you time to read up on this, and then later you can switch over. But yeah, that's pretty much all with the supplementation. I think I got a minute. I know one thing people do, I don't really care for it. I think it's a little more complicated, is they'll buy Repcal calcium with vitamin D3, and then they'll buy another thing of it without D3 and vitamins. That's like $40 in supplements. But what they'll do is they'll put the vitamin without D3 in the capsule, because they think the vitamin D3 is dangerous for the geckos and that they'll overdose on it. It's really not. I know people with 20 years doing just that right there that are really reputable breeders, doing what I do, just giving them the calcium with D3, never had a problem. So I don't see the point in spending an extra $15 on it. But what if that's how you want to do it, then what you would want to do is take the calcium without D3, so not the pink one. I think it's like a blue container too. It looks just like the vitamin one, but take the one without D3, put a cap full of that in there, and then the vitamin D3 you just do it. Then do everything else normally. You would sprinkle it. You would dust with the vitamin with D3 5 times a week, and then do the vitamins the same. But I don't really care for that method. But I mean, if that's what you want to do, if it floats your boat, sure thing. But yeah, that pretty much covers feeding and supplementation. Remember, crickets, mealworms, doobie roaches all make great feeders. Staple feeders, waxworms, hornworms, any other type of worm really, and what was that? Other superworms. Those make good treats, not good staples. And then you've got your supplementations here. Remember, 5 days a week. Dust with vitamin D3, up to juveniles, up to adults, 2 days a week. After they've hit adult, 1 day a week. You can keep a cap full of with vitamin D3 or without vitamin D3 in there. It's your choice. But yeah, that's basically all you need to know. Like I said, you guys rate, comment, subscribe, like my videos. Make sure to go to OzHerps once again. Get him some subscribers, guys. Let's get him to his goal of 500. Help a brother out. So make sure you do that, guys. I'll see you on the next video.